Well, welcome. I am so glad that you are here. The planning committee has done an extraordinary job of putting together an awesome week that's just dense with rich opportunities, and I'm excited to be a part of it. So I want to start with a thank you. Just a heartfelt thank you to every one of you for the hard work that you do, for the experience and time and knowledge that you contribute, for the resources that you provide and your financial support. Thank you. You make this possible. All the things I'm going to show you next are possible because of what you do. I also want to thank Kathleen Moore, who's the program coordinator. She was the lead editor for our Extension Gardener Handbook, and she's the point person on the transformation of our plant database and the creation of a teacher's guide to go with the handbook, and she'll be talking with you shortly. And the amazing Charlotte Glen, who's now managing. So glad Charlotte's here. So we're all coming together to solve some problems, to work to make the world a better place. So one of the things that we're addressing is water quality issues. And you guys are doing that in a myriad of ways. You're addressing flood issues, you're addressing drought issues, you're looking at erosion, you're looking at stormwater management. And you're also looking at helping people make environmentally responsible decisions about what they do in their yard, when and how they apply fertilizers and pesticides to minimize their impact on water quality. We're in a time when there's a huge pressure to believe that there's no such thing as a good bug. The only good bug is a dead bug. There's tremendous easy access to fast solutions, and you're helping people think about responsible ways for managing issues in their landscape, whether it be weeds or insect pests or diseases or. Let me just digress for a second. I spent such a long time trying to find an image of a vole that depicted their true nature, which is evil and conniving and nasty. And every one of them are this little fluffy, cute thing, but it's not true. So anyway, making a huge difference by guiding people in their decisions about how to manage and coexist with these issues. You're helping move people from a monoculture that takes intense management to maintain, to diverse landscapes that promote wildlife, whether urban wildlife habitats, pollinator habitats. You're helping people make good decisions about what they plant and where, so that they're not having to manage the size of a plant by pruning and generating an immense amount of green waste. If they do generate green waste, you're teaching them how to compost it and keep it on site as an asset rather than sending it out to the landfill. You're helping people get up off the couch. You're getting them out into the garden where they are growing produce, and we know that people who grow vegetables eat more vegetables. They eat a wider variety of vegetables. And interestingly enough, community gardeners eat more vegetables than home gardeners. So the work that you do with community gardens is really important with nutrition as well. You got them exercising. They're out kneeling and reaching and stretching. They're doing load-bearing, weight-bearing things in the garden. And they're spending time in nature, which is a tremendous asset to deal with stress. You're helping to prevent or provide options for nature deficit disorder. You're creating young scientists. You're teaching children to grow food. You're teaching them how to cook that food. And you're also teaching them how to enjoy that food and helping to develop a taste and a like and an interest in eating vegetables. In a time when our community is hugely polarized, you guys are building community. You're building relationships and networks that are bringing people together in ways that are not happening in other parts of our society. You're helping people make smart decisions about how they spend money. So that when they take the resources that they have to invest in their landscape, they're investing them in things that will actually make a difference. You're teaching them when and how and where to apply things to get the most beneficial impact. So you're helping people save money. You're helping people build an investment. So up to 20% increase in property value by landscaping. You guys are helping people increase their assets in that way as well. So in all of these ways, and in many, 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 many more, you're making a huge difference in the world. So all this is to say that I recognize you, even when you're not wearing your fancy tights. You guys are superheroes, and you are a force for good. All right, okay. What I want to do, I feel like Q in the James Bond. I'm going to show you the tools that we have to support you in doing all this great stuff that you're doing. All right, so many of you already have your amazing new Extension Gardener Handbook. You know that it's available online and also as an ebook. I strongly encourage you to use this as a tool in your outreach for the university. You can link directly to any section in the handbook. So if you're sending an email to somebody and they want to know what's the variety of strawberries that they should plant in the coast, you don't have to type that all out. Just go to the handbook online, copy the link, and send it to them directly, and they'll be right to the table. So, great resource. Kathleen's going to talk in a minute about the transformation of our plant database, but this is the other anchor of our program. I see that handbook and this database as the two anchors to enable us to do all of the great things that we do. One of which is the quarterly newsletter that we send out. Matt Jones, who's right here, is our state coordinator for the managing editor for the newsletter. Comes out in 3 versions, 4 times a year. We have web portals that are a way to connect people with the resources that we have here at NC State and beyond. So that's a place to go if you're trying to find stuff. We have social media options. The social media for Extension Gardener it is available, and we'd hugely appreciate if you would come and like it and share it and follow it and whatever the other things that you do with social media to get the word out. But you can help us take that information and get it much more broadly distributed just by liking it. We have currently 3 plant identification classes. We have one on trees, shrubs, and conifers. We have one on edibles and one on annuals. They're a 6-week course. They're asynchronous, which means that you don't have to be any place at any time to take the class. You do it on your own time, anywhere you can connect to the internet. So lots of fun. We're really enjoying those. We've just hired Preston Montague. Many of you may already know Preston. He is an eyelash away from being a certified landscape architect. He's passed all of his exams, and he's an artist and an environmental educator, and he will be managing the plant ID courses for us. Christine Bradish is also joining our DE team. She is a PhD breeder. She works with Clary Sage in the northeastern part of the state, but she's helping with the plant database and also with the DE classes. We have the plant ID class is already online. We expect that this fall we'll have a botany class available, and in February. February we'll have the botany class available. Then next fall have an edibles class that you'll be able to take, and we're working on plants in containers and horticulture therapy. And the reason we can do these things is because we have awesome partnerships with Longwood Gardens and with the North Carolina Botanical Garden. And we're able to negotiate those partnerships because of you, because they know of the power of the Extension Master Gardener program, and they value that. Also working on 2 big grants with preschools across the state of North Carolina. We're doing one with the Center for Environmental Farming Systems and one with the Natural Learning Initiative, but they're both around connecting children and their parents and their teachers with the value of growing food and eating fresh local food. So we're developing resources now and hope to be providing you with what you need to be an excellent coach for a preschool garden. We don't want you to garden, we want them to garden, but we want them to be able to call and ask questions. Getting ready to launch the Extension Gardener Carolina Lawn Care. Matt Linhart, who in the back, is the driving force behind that project. The idea is to have a completely packaged program that would have the PowerPoint, it would have the tools that you would need, it would have evaluations, handouts, all of that stuff ready to go so you can take it and share information about how to manage your lawn in an environmentally responsible way. We also have travel study adventures. I have 2 of those coming up. We have one going to Spain in April, and we have one going to England in May. So there's still seats available on both of those trips if you would like to go. They are both going to be amazing trips. So we need your help to do all of these things. You can get engaged at whatever level, at whatever point you want. We could use your help in researching and creating these tools. We could use your help in promoting them and recruiting students and recruiting additional volunteers. We need you to support us in social media and to provide feedback. Probably our biggest need right now is with the plant database. Kathleen Moore, I'm going to introduce in 2 seconds, is working on that. We are going to a whole new platform, just amazing. She's going to tell you how amazing it is. Okay, I'm going to tell you that when we made that leap, only 1/3 of our stuff came with us. Okay, so we need your help. We got a lot of data to get input. We have a lot more data points to add. We have the ability to add a lot more images and bigger, higher quality images because we have more space. So if you have time and interest in working on this incredible project, Kathleen's the one you're going to want to talk to. So Kathleen, I'm turning it over to you.
Well, good morning, everyone. I'm so excited to be here to talk to you about some of the programs at the state hort level. Lucy kind of gave you the overview, and I'm going to go dig a little bit deeper on some of the projects that I helped to coordinate. So if you've been part of the Master Gardener program for any length of time, you are familiar with our Extension Gardener Handbook. It's been a project that we've been working on for a number of years now, and we have completed it. Let's see.
In its third printing in its first year.
Yes, which is great. And it is available in 3 formats, as Lucy mentioned. So we do have the free online version of the handbook. If you haven't already, you'll want to bookmark this link to get easy access to this. It'll take you right to the table of contents. And we thought when we were first starting this project that, oh, once we get everything up online, it'll be lickety-split, no problem. We'll just drop it into a layout and print off hard copies next month. And that was not, not the case at all. It did take us quite a while to create our hardback version of the book. But for those of you that have looked through it, you'll see that it was worth the wait. It's got great layout and color photos, and you can curl up with it in your favorite garden chair and read it. There is also a digital ebook version, which is basically a smart PDF of the hard copy of the book itself. So you can have it digitally, but it still has the lovely layout of a hard copy of the book. So to get your book, you would go to UNC Press would be your best option. The book is available on Amazon, at local bookstores, through Barnes & Noble, but UNC Press will give you the best discount. So you can find out more information on the portal. There's links there to go directly to UNC Press, or you could call them. And right now they're running a promotion of a 40% discount until June 30th. And they seem to run these promotions fairly regularly. So if it's at kind of an off time where they don't have a promotion, you might want to hold on and see if they've got one coming down the pike soon. So we want everyone to have a copy of our amazing resource.
Kathleen, can I just interject for 2 seconds?
Yes.
I heard tell that there are Master Gardener groups around the state who have purchased copies of the book and given them to the libraries in their county.
Excellent.
Wow.
That's amazing.
That you're willing to do it before June 30th, right? Because you can do it at 40% off.
Yes. Yes. Yep. That 40% off discount goes through June 30th. So yeah, well, thank you to those volunteers that have done that. That's amazing. So the online version, it is free, as we mentioned, and it's great because you can use it wherever you go. The design of the handbook online is smart device friendly. I don't know if you've ever tried to navigate a website that's not been programmed to work on a smart device, but it can be pretty frustrating. But this one looks great no matter what you're looking at, and you can take it with you to the nursery or to a garden center or to your Master Gardener training class. And it's kind of a portable way to bring the handbook with you. Lucy mentioned this briefly as well. There is the convenience feature of, with the online version of the handbook, finding a specific part of the chapter and then you know, sending a homeowner there if you're talking to someone. So this is just a screenshot from the insects chapter. All of the section titles are in red. So that Roman numeral 3 insect structure, that's a section title. And you'll see the little link loops, those two little chains there on the right. And if you click on that, it actually brings up the URL from that particular section heading, and you can send folks directly to that spot so they don't have to scroll down through the whole chapter. The same thing with the tables. Lucy mentioned this too. You just find the table that you want. This one's table 4.2 in the insects chapter, and you just actually add a hashtag. You can pretend like you're a millennial sending out information. You just add a hashtag and the table, word table, and the number. So hashtag table 4.2 to the end of the URL, and it will send someone directly to that table. So just a couple of stats. After thousands and thousands of hours of labor, our baby book was born on April 1st. So we were very excited to have the hard copy ready to go on April 1st of 2018. And in that time, our 2018 stats for the online version of the handbook, we have over 230,000 unique page views. So keep going to the handbook, keep using it, keep sending your clients there, tell your friends about it, and get our stats up. The more page views we have, the better Google will rank us in their analytics. And so if we have more hits and more page views, we'll be up on the search engines when people type in things like gardening or insect management or things like that. So there's some information there about how many hardcover copies that we sold and how many ebooks as well. So now that we have this amazing textbook and resource, we thought, well, gosh, we've got this incredible book, but how are we going to get folks to utilize the material and teach it in their training courses or in their seminars or in their gardening classes in their county? How can we get that information disseminated more regularly to the public? So we realized that we needed some equally amazing resources for our teachers or our facilitators. So we wrote a grant to the Southern IPM Center and it was funded. So the grant spans 3 years, 2017 to 2020. So we're rounding out the second year right now. And we were lucky enough to get the grant, so that's fantastic. And we started by surveying you guys, by surveying agents and saying, hey, you know, what are the things that you like about the training that are currently happening? And what are some things that we need to change or, you know, things that we need to do differently? So based on that information, based on looking at some other states and what other states are doing with their training program, we decided to adopt what's called the flipped classroom model. And for those of you that aren't familiar with that, it's basically reading information before you attend the class. So reading the chapter or looking at some resources or videos before you attend class, so that when you do attend class, the facilitator simply does a review of the main points, the objectives of the course, but it's not a 3-hour PowerPoint presentation. What we found was that people were saying the course is great, but when I get to the help desk, I don't feel comfortable answering questions from the public. And we really wanted to change that. And so the way that we can change that is by giving students hands-on lab type based practice and activities with real you know, information that they'll encounter in their work as a Master Gardener volunteer. So the new training is hands-on focused, and we are providing not only activities, but all of the different components that a facilitator might choose to use in a training class. So it's going to be kind of an a la carte option, and facilitators can pick and choose which components work best for them, but they'll have kind of the full menu to pick from. So there'll be things like those short review PowerPoints, and there'll be reading guides for the students to use when they're reading through the chapters. There'll be sample quizzes and sample homework options. And then of course, the hands-on activities and guides there. So this is just a little teaser, a little sample from our insect chapter. One of the things that we heard when we kind of demoed our insect activities with the agents last year at the conference was, well, it's hard for us to have real live insect samples, to have a huge collection that spans all the orders and is really representative. And, but we still want people to be able to understand some of these key components about insects. So we developed some playing cards, basically, that folks would use at different stations and would do different activities using these cards. And they have high quality images, and they are just rife with information about plants. So helping students understand the importance of understanding orders and why that would be an issue in the garden, why you need to be able to identify an insect, because you need to know what it is before you're going to take any management steps. Why the mouth parts are important, and how can you identify damage to a plant based on knowing what type of mouth parts an insect has. So we're really excited about these cards and stations. This is just a sample of a table instructions for the students to read before they start an activity with the cards. But they would be kind of rotating through some different activities and learning about beneficial insects and predators and pollinators, how to identify whether it's a pest. Like I said, learning about mouth parts, learning how to tell whether it's an insect or an arthropod, all of these things that are really important to understanding the subject of insects, which can be a little overwhelming. So that's just a little teaser. We plan to have materials for all of the chapters that are most commonly taught in the Master Gardener training program. So the third project and final project, then I'll stop babbling at you guys, is our beloved plant database. So you guys are familiar with our plant database. It was developed in 2013, but there wasn't a lot of background thought. We were just really happy to have a plant database. And over the years, we've discovered that it really did need some work and some revitalization. So we received a grant from the college, another 3-year grant, to re-envision and revitalize and completely transform our plant database. And again, we started by surveying you guys, surveying agents, looking at other states' databases to figure out, what can we do, or what are we not doing, and then what can we do better, and just have the best database out there. So we have partnered with some university faculty and staff that have access to data. So we're pulling in wildlife information from Chris Moorman. We're pulling in children's gardening information from Julie Shirk. We've got Alexander Kring's information about weeds. And it's been really, really great to have kind of a community effort with pulling in data and making our database even stronger. So you'll notice when you do log into our new database that it's going to look different, and there's going to be some different components that were not in our old database. So our old database did an okay job of plant selection, helping folks find the right plant for the right place. But we have expanded that 2/3 fold. So we have 2/3 as many criteria to help folks figure out the right plant for the spot that they're looking at. Things like, does the plant withstand compaction? What is the blooming season? What type of fruit is it? All sorts of different things that we never had before. And then a new part of the database will be a plant identification section. So we heard from people that they want to be able to look at a sample of a plant that someone brings in to the help desk, or look at plants in their landscape and be able to identify them. So we've created a kind of a modified key. It's not quite as detailed as a key, to help people narrow down and at least get in the right, right general family, maybe genus, so that they can have an idea of what they're looking at. And then the third, which I'm really excited about, we heard when we were doing our focus groups that folks are, it's great that you can help me find a plant for the right place, and it's great that you can help me ID this singular plant, and it's great that you have pictures of all these singular plants, but when I start to garden or do a landscape, I want to see inspiring photographs of designs or combinations of plants, or how do things work together, or what does this plant look like planted next to something else. So we're going to have a whole section of kind of inspirational section on design themes and landscaping ideas, showing people a small space garden, showing people what a different rain garden options. And those photos will have the ability to ID the plants and link back to the plant record in the database. So we're really, really excited about that option. So this is just a little sneak peek of what it's going to look like with the new URL, or sorry, not new URL, same URL, but new database. So we are keeping our we are keeping our same URL. So the plants.ces.ncsu.edu, that same one that you've always used for our plant database, is going to stay the same. And if you have any web presence and you've linked to the database, it will still work. All of the plant records will still have the same URL, so that will all transfer over, which is good. We won't lose any of the links that we've created in the past, which is fantastic, because the online version of the handbook, every time a plant is mentioned, we linked it back to the database. So if we had to redo that, I don't know, I would give up, I think. So one of the things too that we really are striving for, and Lucy mentioned, is better photographs. We have the ability to upload higher resolution and more photographs than before, and also an ability for us to focus on seasonality. So what you're going to see in the database now is that we don't just have one picture, full picture of the plant from kind of 10 feet back. We're going to try to have a picture of a close-up of the leaves, a close-up of the flowers, so we can really kind of get an intimate view of what that looks like. If the plant has a fruiting body, what does that look like? If the plant has bark, what does the bark look like? Having pictures of all these things. If it has interesting fall color, talking about seasonality, let's show people what the plant looks like if we're talking about it having something interesting. And on that same note, if something is gonna look like a hot mess, if you leave your liatris over winter for the birds, this is what it's gonna look like in your landscape. Letting people know what things look like all year, so that we don't have people going to the nursery in the spring and buying everything that's gonna bloom right there in the spring, and then having holes in their landscape the rest of the year. And not only from a visual perspective, but from a wildlife support perspective. Are we providing food? Are we providing cover? Are we providing nectar? Are we providing a larval food source all year round? So really focusing on that seasonality, that year-round gardening. Some of the other new features and options that you'll see with the toolbox are IPM recommendations, having alternate plants. So if a plant is not the best idea, we can say, well, try these, try this one instead, or try this native version. Having a plant sale or shopping list, so that you can go through and click off plants that you're interested in taking to a nursery, or if your county has a plant sale, we can click off the plants that are in that plant sale, which is great. The agents are working on video profiles for some of the plants. So some of the plants will have a 1 to 2 minute little little vignette about the plant and maybe a little story about what makes that plant unique to them, just to add some richness to the data. And then we can add QR codes. So if you have a demonstration garden in your county and you want to add the QR code to the ID tags, then it will link people there. Another cool feature is that we are adding the Latin pronunciations of the plants so that people can hear them, and then also the phonetic pronunciation. So I'm gonna try to see if I can get it to play here.
Abelia by grandiflora prostrata.
Did you guys hear that?
Yeah.
Abelia by grandiflora prostrata.
Is it a little low? Can't hear it. Okay. Well, you'll have to trust me that when you go, some of them will be uploaded. We are working vigorously to get those uploaded. So again, the URL is going to stay the same. July 1st is when it's going to go live, but it is going to be kind of in a state of flux for a while. As Lucy mentioned, when we brought the data over from the old database, a lot of it didn't translate well. And then we have all of these new data record spots to fill out. So we've got a lot of work ahead of us before it's totally complete. And as Lucy mentioned, there are volunteer opportunities to help with both the teacher's guide or the database. If either of those sound interesting to you at all, you can check with your county agent, make sure it's okay, and then contact me, shoot me an email, let me know. And I want you all to keep an eye on your email over the next couple of weeks. I'm going to send out an invitation on the NCEMGV email list. To an invitation to a Zoom meeting in July, right after the debut of the database, to kind of walk you through the database, give you some more insight into what's there, and then talk about some of the opportunities to volunteer. But we really would love your help. It's all stuff that you can do from home, from your computer, at your own, on your own schedule. So. I think I am to turn it back over to Charlotte.
All right. Thank you, Kathleen. Thank you. We're going to talk a little bit about the amazing things you're doing and what's going on with the Extension Master Gardener program. So this opening session, we kind of wanted to be a state of the program address, kind of what's going on and what's coming up. And of course, the state of the Extension Master Gardener program is we have amazing volunteers all over the state doing just incredible things. So this is from our annual report, this past year's annual report, and over 3,000 Master Gardeners submitted hours. So we've got more people on the rolls, but these are the numbers that submitted hours, over 210,000 hours. So more than 100, you added like more than 100 employees to Extension, with those hours, and reached 500,000 people. Absolutely, And this brings millions of dollars of value to Extension and our ability to spread that research-based information. So, again, thank you for all you're doing. And make sure we can really tell that story. We want, we want to make sure everybody knows how amazing Master Gardeners are and what we're doing. So make sure you put your hours in on NCSU Garden. That's where we're able to pull that information for both county level reports, state level reports, for grants. So, it is meaningful. I know it's a little, it takes a little bit of time, but we do use it, and it's very important for us to tell the story and share what we're doing with everyone from the local, state level and further. So what's going on with Extension Master Gardener program? Plants, Pests, and Pathogens. How many people have been on one of the Plants, Pests, and Pathogens this year? Yeah? Great. You like Zoom? Zoom's our new platform, much easier to use. And we've made a few changes this year based on your feedback. We sent out a survey and said, what would you like to see? And so what we've done is now we're meeting every month. It's not every other month. So every month, February through October, we're hitting the growing season. We're a little shorter, 10 to 11:30, because we're not trying to have a guest speaker and pest updates every month. We're alternating. So we'll have a guest speaker come with a feature topic in 1 month, and then the next month we'll have Matt Bertone and Mike Munster, who are amazing with plant disease and insect clinic, sharing all their knowledge of what's currently going on with pests and diseases and how to identify them across North Carolina. Our next one is June 25th, and that will be Matt and Mike. Actually, Matt will be at a conference, so we're having Joy Goforth, who's from NCDA, Department of Agriculture. She's going to tell us about spotted lanternfly. You're going to be hearing a lot about spotted lanternfly in the coming months. It's not here yet, thank goodness. It's a new invasive pest up around Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., and it's probably moving our way. So I'll just give you a little teaser on that. So you will want to check in on June 25th and learn about that. But if you're not available, don't worry. They're all recorded. All of our plants, pests, and pathogens are recorded. And now it's even easier to find them because they're on a playlist on YouTube. So click a button and they play. So this is something we're really excited we were able to do this year, is get them all on that playlist. I will mention, I know there's a lot of web links on these slides, but they're all listed in the little update newsletter that you got in your registration packet. So that's there for you to refer to. And they'll be posted on the EMG College website page too, to give you a quick one link. Some real quick things as we close up before our break. We do have a new portal to help promote the Extension Master Gardener program to the public. This is part of the Extension portal system. So this is really where people who aren't Master Gardeners yet go to learn about the program and connect with their local county program and find it. It is up and running now, and we'll be continuing to work on it always, but especially this summer to make the information richer and to make it more useful to people who want to become Master Gardeners and learn about, or even who just want to find out about the program and what's going on. Search for Excellence, we will be talking all about tomorrow, so I'm not going to go into that too much, other than to say thank you to everybody who applied. We have 15 applications this year, and that is wonderful. That's more than we usually get, so we were really excited about that, and they were all amazing projects. We'll talk tomorrow about who got selected for each of the categories to win. And each of those winning projects does get a $200 award to use for their program. And those are funded through the North Carolina Extension Master Gardener Endowment. But we did have a couple of our winners from last year, our 2018 Search for Excellence, go on to be international Search for Excellence winners. And this is just super exciting. The Guilford County won in the demonstration garden category, Dare County in the workshop presentation category for their Speakers Bureau. And so there were hundreds of entries across the United States sent into International Search for Excellence. There are only 7 first place winners, and 2 of them came from North Carolina. Isn't that amazing? Yeah. And I encourage you all to think about applying for both our state Search for Excellence and the international, which is every other year for international. The next one will be 2021. Again, I mentioned those awards are funded from our endowment, and we all know funding is what makes things happen. And so we're always working on things like Lucy's gotten amazing grants that make the things happen we talked about this morning. The endowment is a perpetual source of funding to help grow the program, the North Carolina Extension Master Gardener program, all across the state. With our 40-year anniversary, we are launching an anniversary appeal. Our goal is we'd love to raise $40,000 this year. That would just about double what we have in the endowment, double our income we get each year, so we'd be able to do more. We encourage you to consider, making any gift, would help, or your county or your county association might want to make a gift. You can do that online, and you can put it in honor of someone or your county. And here's a really exciting way to give to the endowment is to get a Master Gardener license plate. And right now, what we have in stock, or what DMV has in stock, still has a watering can on it. So if you love that watering can, get your license plate now. It's a $20 fee to get the license plate on top of the normal, fees you pay every year. But $10 of that, half of it goes straight to the endowment. Every year you renew it. So this has actually been the biggest ongoing funding source for the endowment since it was started, and the association was really vital in getting both the endowment started and endowed, and the license plate, getting enough people interested in it to get that started. So we appreciate that greatly. But consider getting that license plate. Probably by the end of this year, we'll run out of these watering can versions, and it's going to be updated with our new logo. So that's kind of a different look. If you like that, you can hang out and wait and get that then. But if you like the watering can, go ahead and get it now. We have lots of opportunities for you to show your pride that you're a Master Gardener volunteer through our Logo Wear website. You can buy all kinds of apparel, tote bags, hats, really neat stuff up there. A lot of stuff's been added too. Be sure to check it out. That has the Master Gardener logo on it. You can get your county logo with your county name on it, or you can just do the state program. I really love the runner, the table runner up top, which is just goes over a tablecloth you already have. So if you've got events, you want to make sure people know you're Master Gardener volunteers. You want to have something colorful underneath, but you want to really, show that bold EMG logo. The runner does a wonderful job of that. There's also full-size table covers. So lots of stuff there. And this will be up here really soon. We're going to have a t-shirt commemorating our 40-year anniversary, which has, like you see on the back of our vest, the 40-year anniversary watering can. So that's coming very soon. And it'll be available in women's style with a V-neck or men's with a crew neck, because apparently there's no company that makes a men and women's shirt in the same style and the same color. We needed to have the same color, so we'll end up with V-neck and crew neck. So that's kind of, what's going on right now. So what's coming up? That's always the most exciting, right? What's coming up? What's going to be coming up in the next 6 months or even next year? I am super, super excited about this. We're going to be hiring a part-time position. We don't know who it is. That's why we have the question mark. But we're looking at like a 10-hour per week position that is going to help specifically with Extension Master Gardener program and growing some of these things that are going on and new possibilities. We're able to fund this because when new people become Extension Master Gardeners, there's a fee they pay, the training fee. Some of that covers county expenses and some of it covers state expenses. It's just a one-time thing, so if you're already a Master Gardener, you're not going to have to pay this fee, but new people coming in will pay an extra $10. So it'll be an extra $10 that comes to the state program that will specifically help fund this position. And this person's going to help with a lot of things, but some things we really are going to focus their time on is communication between, all across the state, between Master Gardener programs and marketing. So helping with our Facebook page and keeping it updated and really showcasing what our volunteers are doing across the state. And then I know this is something many people have asked for and mentioned in surveys and things like that, is wanting to know what's happening in other counties around the state. And the association newsletter does a great job of that, but that's kind of like, this is what happened this past season. And I know you guys want to know what's coming up. So I want to know if this county, 3 counties over, if they're having this huge symposium, I want to go and I want to know about it. So this new position is going to do a monthly update, like a digest. Instead of you getting 30 emails, and I know you get 30 emails from me every week, and I'm really happy that nobody's broken my fingers yet. But we want to do more of a digest. So instead of all these separate emails, like once a month you get a big, here's everything's going on with Master Gardener program across the state that you might want to know about. Forsyth's having a huge plant sale, and Mecklenburg's having a symposium. And so even if you don't attend it, you might say, you know what, we're having a symposium in 6 months. I bet they can give us some tips. So how can we connect and share? So that'll be part of what that person works on. As far as Extension Master Gardener College itself, this is our second Master Gardener College. Our first one was in 2017. And where are we going with it? So we're really open to all kinds of possibilities. We're not locked into it being every other year a conference on campus. And we're listening to what you've said. There was a big survey back in the winter. That's what it looked like because it was snowing the day I put it together, so I put snow on it. We asked, how do you want to have advanced training opportunities? And we were like, a lot of people, that blue means I'm not interested. That's the statewide conference. So a lot of people aren't really interested or able for various reasons to do these multi-day statewide conferences. But regional one-day things, the goal is like, yeah, I'm there. So lots of interest in that and lots of interest in online. And so Extension Garden already has a lot of online opportunities, but we'll be cultivating even more. So we want to do things, that fit your needs and preferences, so that we're really exploring with Extension Master Gardener College, expanding, it kind of being a a brand for all of our statewide advanced training. So you'll be hearing about more opportunities that aren't just coming to campus. And there's a really important reason we actually aren't planning to do a conference on campus in 2021, and that's because International Master Gardener Conference will be held in Virginia. So what an amazing opportunity to go to the International Conference, meet Master Gardener volunteers from all across the country and even places like South Korea and Canada. And that will be up in Norfolk at this amazing Hilton, or the Main by Hilton, September 12th through 18th. So it's in the little newsletter, so be sure to get that on your calendar now, because we want everybody from North Carolina to be able to attend. So go ahead and start talking about in your counties too. What could help you attend? Would you want to get a bus or a van or things like that? So I've just got 2 more slides, then we're wrapping up and we'll have break. And just as a closer, I just want to say, we've had our first 40 years, and wow, what have we done? We've started from absolutely nothing. 40 years ago, there were no Master Gardeners in North Carolina. Now we have over 3,000, 3,500. Depends on which number you look at. Sometimes the number's up to 4,000. We have all these people in the program going out and helping make their communities a better place, and at least 84 counties. Based on those extension programs. So we've just been growing, and I kind of think about it as an arboretum, where you've been planting all these trees, and the individual trees are growing in these counties, and you've got these amazing specimens now, and you can walk and say, man, look at that county, it has a great program. Look at that county, it has a great program. We've been growing all these amazing county programs, and now we're at a point for the next 40 years, how do we grow together? So how do we become more of a forest? Whereas an arboretum is kind of this collection of specimen trees, we want to become this forest of trees, which is a community relying on each other and interconnected. So how are we going to become this community of trees, this community of programs, both the county program, state program, county associations, state associations, working as part of the urban horticulture program. So how are we going to do that? I don't have the answer, but we're going to be working on it, because we're going to start some strategic visioning this fall and winter. And we want you to be part of the conversation, and we're going to be asking you lots of stuff and have opportunities for you to help identify those common issues across the state that we can be affecting with horticulture and gardening education, and what tools and resources are needed to make that happen, and how are we going to fund it. How can we share between counties and strengthen each other and be that community? And how can we recruit and engage the next generation of volunteers? So these are some of the things with our strategic vision, which is kind of like the master plan, where we want to take the Master Gardener program. And so you'll be hearing a lot more about that as we move into fall, and you'll be invited to help us figure these things out. And the way to do that, to make sure you're getting all that information, is to be signed up for our EMGV email list. The link to do that is right on the front of the newsletter. And it is moderated. So I know people were on it before. It was moderated, and we're like, it's too many emails. So you don't need to worry about that as much. So that is me closing out, and I know it is break time. I just again say welcome to all of you. Thank you so much for being here, and I am so excited and looking forward to working with you as we grow this next 40 years of Extension Master Gardener program.